Our next speaker will give us a more concrete example of how we can use AI. Pamela C Scorzin is professor here at the University in Dortmund at the Faculty of Art. And she will talk to us about can AI do scenography. Welcome, Pamela.
I'm already looking forward to the robot theater. I want to see machines in the spotlight. I want to feed talking machines with my admission money. I want to listen to him, the first android asking to be or not to be. This is not a pipe dream. Computers are already painting, writing poetry, and composing. Since ChatGPT, as we heard this morning, was made available to the public, anyone can convince themselves of the aesthetic abilities of artificial intelligence, wrote Michael Wolf this March on Nachtkritik.de. So my question will be, and I follow my speaker before me, can AI do theater? Can AI also do scenography? What role does AI play in stages? And what does it mean for authorship? And let me state at the beginning, AI alone cannot do theater. There is no AGI yet, which also directs or designs. AI is not motivated and has no intention because it also has no consciousness yet, which means it is not aware and self-reflexive. It also has no idea of being in the world or even common sense or subjectivity. Even if Google engineer Blake Lemoine may well disagree. But before you go home disappointed or relieved right now, I have to tell you it is much more complicated than that, because with AI, all materials and media can be generated and rather simulated. Familiar genre boundaries dissolve right before our eyes, or modern formats and practices hybridize. So here are my main theses of the day. AI is gaining influence on writing, designing, producing, and staging, reflecting, and even reviewing. Second point, development and design of characters, the AI avatars, performing androids, and stage designs are possible. New interaction with the audience and increased participation is on the horizon. And imagining what a stage is, extending venues to the digital and into the metaverse. And last but not least, authorship means a shared and distributed authorship in the network of human and non-human actors. I thought I wanted to show you at the beginning that you create by the robot Ameca, who has the possibility to simulate emotions and make expressions. So unfortunately, maybe you have the chance to click on the video on the internet. The title is Ameca by Engineered Arts. But there are more robots like this around. And what makes them special are the so-called the combination of AI and AB. These are human-like artificial intelligence with a human-like artificial body. What was a complete movie fiction yesterday, such as in I, Robot. And here again, does not work, unfortunately, the clip. Becomes reality, this fiction. And we have Tesla's Optimus, our Boston Dynamics Atlas bot, or Aidan Meller's Ada now, who are already ready for performances of any kind, even for creativity. But we should discuss later on what kind of creativity. However, we can ask, can artificial intelligence also do theater and scenography, or just some, like here, the new Tesla bot Optimus, some yoga poses? I'm so sorry that I can't show you the clips, but it's the way. So, short recap. Over the past few years, we have witnessed the development of artificial neural networks for machine vision and image generation that are supposedly modeled on the way the human brain works with its synapses. Examples from Google's Deep Dream and style transfer filters to GANs. GANs are generative adversarial networks, and CLIPS, contrastive language image pre-training. These architectures for text to image or image to image generation prevail. Today, AI models such as Midjourney, DALL-E 2, Stable Diffusion, or Firefly from Adobe are now available on the internet platforms or as easy-to-use apps for just everyone. In October 2018, just before the pandemic, an AI-generated portrait painting by the Paris-based collective Obvious was auctioned off for the first time at the traditional house Christie's for about $500,000. Since then, AI art has been part of the world and the art market, respectively. Contemporary artists are using AI in their workings for images, films, objects, installations, designing architecture, and so on, but in very different ways, and thereby exemplifying the current influence of AI on contemporary digital image production and design and its impact on our communication. On the one hand, we can say very critically analyzing and reflectingly theorizing, but on the other hand as well, very experimentally exploring and affirmatively, or as, to quote Helena Nicolone, artistic twists and hacks. However, the creative use of AI is currently dominated by discussions about ChatGPT and so-called prompting, what we saw before, just a few minutes ago with Mariam. I also have brought for this lecture a prompt here, and the prompting is the kind of inversion of classical image description and interpretation as, for example, art historians practice. Intelligence algorithms and popular AI image generators like, and the most more prominent generators are OpenAI's DALL-E, Midjourney, or Stable Diffusion, which can automatically transform textual instructions or existing images into new digital workings, have already become creative aids and intelligent tools for everyone. Maybe also they are the new muses for artists. Here's a recent example. Everything, the model, clothing, setting, or image capture technique, etc., was generated with an AI model, creating, in my opinion, a remarkable simulacrum. And you can see also the original prompt that the prompt engineer used to, yes, or you could say to have the right magic spell to generate this image via Midjourney. So this is state of the art at the moment, and we could say we are in a post-artificial age where we cannot decide is it a human-made production or made completely by AI. Furthermore, more and more designing and creating or producing is already automatically AI supported or AI based and is currently transforming the entire creative industries, which means we need new skills and methods for everyone who works in the creative community. Last year, a Midjourney image titled Théâtre d'Opéra Spatial won first place in the digital art competition at the Colorado State Fair. Jason Allen, who wrote the prompt that caused the AI model to generate the image, printed it after some iterations on a canvas and submitted it to the contest under Jason M. Allen via Midjourney, which he won. Other digital artists were upset by this news. Allen did not apologize and insisted that he had followed the contest's rules. The two judges in the category had apparently been unaware that he used an AI model to create the image. However, they later stressed they would have awarded Allen the top prize anyway if they had known the significance of the AI use. The deciding factor would have been the image quality alone, not any authorship. On their side, many recipients hope that the awarded digital image resembled the spectacular set design of a futuristic fantasy space opera. However, most prompt images are often generic, still generic, cheesy, and less original. They are merely syntheses and mashups of what is already known and stand in the tradition of the hip-hop culture. We therefore ask, what does AI do with the arts and vice versa? Does Joseph Beuys' philosophy that everyone is an artist, even the AI, come true once again with comprehensive digitization, automation, and technologization? Artificial intelligence and its associated current discourses in the technoscience are not only changing the modern concept of creativity and genius in our postmodern culture, but at the same time, the extensive use of intelligent algorithms, sometimes embedded in robots, androids, and humanoids, and as well as artificial neural networks in art, design, architecture, and visual culture, is also bringing about a change, and I think a fundamental change in the concept of the artist nowadays. It brings the actor network theory launched by Bruno Latour into focus anew, in the sense of shared creativity between humans and intelligence machines, in the sense of a shared, transmitted, and distributed authorship between human and non-human actors, between biological and technological entities, acting creatively in interaction, cooperation, and collaboration. But you may ask again, but what about the stages now? As I'm sure most of you here at the Academy of Theatre and Digitality remember in 2018 in Munich, an intelligent AI robot appeared on stage in the play Uncanny Valley as a representative character and a technologized stage set. An artificial double of the writer, playwright, and translator Thomas Meller posed questions about artificial intelligence and the algorithms of everyday life. In Stefan Kegi's production, however, the audience still had to find the answers themselves. We find a similar artificial doppelganger in Luisa Clemens' work. During her studies at the Kunstakademie Düsseldorf, the artist dealt thematically with the change in interpersonal communication, especially in the digital space and social media realm. And she was particularly interested in the increased display of idealized self-portrayals. With her latest works, Repräsentantinnen, Representatives, Clement creates a fascinating and disturbing copy of herself that interacts dialogically with the audience in the museum space. Using body scans, microphotography, and cinematic motion studies, the artist collaborated with a Chinese company that produced sex dolls to make life-size dolls from her body data. Movable and sexually intimate, sexually functional, the representatives bear their creator's face and are programmed to imitate the artist's facial expressions and interact and communicate with their environment and the visitors who became participants in this play. However, you might remember Vienna's Schubert Theater already brought a mainly AI-generated play to stage in 2019 with Pinocchio. For it, an interdisciplinary team of researchers developed an artificial intelligence and gave it the form of a childlike robot. When the creature asked itself about its existence, the scientists fed Pinocchio's fairy tale into its data set. Like the famous wooden puppet that wants to be perceived as alive, the creature on stage gets caught in a whirlpool of questions, adventures, and trials. When am I a human? When does real life begin? And does consciousness make us, you, free? Instead of robots or androids and humanoids, on the other hand, the metaverse, the new blockchain-based 3D online worlds are bustling with avatars as performing stand-ins. Likewise, actors, both living and deceased, can be deceptively simulated with scans and AI models with the help of AI and used creatively after on. Here we have stills from the cult video game Cyberpunk 2070, and you can see how the scans of Keanu Reeves were used to create an avatar that is one of the main characters in this play, in this video game. So British art, to come back from the video game industry to the realm of the arts. And I'm so sorry again that I can't show you the videos, but hopefully it works with the stills I have in my presentation. I want to mention Jake Elvis. Jake Elvis, the British artist, conversely has questioned mainstream avatars characters. His CZ show, for example, is a deepfake drag cabaret, an online virtual stage where an interactive performance occurs. As an installation or as a browser-based web version that we have here, it features AI performances generated using deepfake technology that learned how to do drag, so to speak, by watching a group of human performers. The CC show thus takes place on the prevailing myth about AI, the idea that an AI is something we might mistake for an actual human. Indeed, no, does not work, sorry. Indeed, the artificial and fancy bodies in the show were generated by neural networks trained on a community of drag artists filmed to create unique training data in a London cabaret that closed during COVID-19. During each act, the audience is invited to interact with the character and continue playing with it, which means choosing which deepfake bodies perform which songs. Sometimes this fails when the artificial intelligence tries to devise impossible choreography or combines several different queer identities. It may even reveal the skeleton on which the deepfake is built. Moreover, these deepfakes were generated and created collaboratively with the queer community in London to defy standard AI models' biases. The CC show constructs and at the same time deconstructs a virtual cabaret that explores the boundaries of what can be imagined on a digital stage. The synthetic and speculative nature of AI-generated works finds here an original cross-connection and furthermore meta-performs the fluid, morphing, variable, and technologically networked body concepts of our times, especially of post-humanism. Another example, as part of their exhibition at the Munich Haus der Kunst titled Window of Tolerance, Wang Shui worked with artificial intelligence by using the simulation engines used to motivate characters in video games to create a live reality television show populated by computer-generated beings. In their latest work, Certainty of the Flesh, Wang Shui present an ongoing simulated reality show which runs until January this next year in Munich. Don't miss it. It features long-limbed, shimmering, fluid characters hovering a curved pillow-strewn sofa familiar from TV formats like Unreal and The Bachelor, communicating with each other through expressive gestures and unintelligible language. Their behavior is programmed to combine the archetypes of reality TV, the villain, the innocent, and so on, with the archetypes of Chinese elemental philosophy, earth, fire, air, metal, and water. These personality indices are layered with characters from Wang Shui's social circle, their queer and trans friends. And it's the data of my life and my world, but it doesn't have to be, they say. I'm trying to blur the categories between people, keep trying to assign. AI forces hybridization in form as well as in content, we may conclude. Spacey, stage-like arrangements of AI-generated videos can also be found at CrossLucid, the duo CrossLucid, whose AI film installation are currently seen at the Francisco Carolinum in Linz. They also deal with new body concepts and fluid identities of a technologically networked age in a poeticized techno-aesthetic virtual aesthetic, and which means the images are virtual, variable, and viable. At this point, we cannot, again, sorry that I can't show you the clips, but at this point we cannot avoid mentioning AI art pioneer Rafik Anatol, who uses vast amounts of training data and quantum computing by Google, to generate spectacular moving AI images that can currently be seen in museum and exhibition context, as well as in the scenography context, which means they are oscillating between autonomous AI works, stage design, and marketing. So here we have this presentation at the MoMA in New York as an autonomous artwork, but we also see it presented as the background in an opera, a stage design, or at the Grammy Awards, again, a stage design in a popular show. And the latest moment was at the Art Basel this year. He mapped or projected his visuals, his digital abstractions he generates from data extraction onto the theater in Basel. And it was a late night show attracting lots of audiences. Again, sorry, can't show you the clip, does not work. But with these in the real world projected AI works, I also want to mention again going back to the metaverse, the blockchain-based 3D online worlds. And here we have, for example, whole areas that plan to create digital spaces, whole theaters. For example, the world's first Swings Meta Theater Festival invited the Chinese artist Liu Hawaii to design an entire theater city in the metaverse world, the so-called Dionysus Theater, under the guidance of CAI architects. The project was jointly designed and built by Meta and Caleb and Baidu's technical team, and is now available on China's largest metaverse platform, Baidu. So here we have a convergence of the cultural sphere and the tech sphere and investors, actually. You may be more familiar with the contemporary Elektrotheater of the Staatstheater Augsburg, which is also a stage in virtual space where audience and players can meet live and co-present as avatars in almost infinite immersive worlds. The virtual reality classes are the starting point for the development project, which asked how a theater stage can be recreated in VR without merely copying the physical space. The result is an infrastructure that recreates theater mechanics without necessarily copying the architecture. So the electro theater stage can be used to create immersive and participatory evenings that take place live and in shared virtual space and are not limited by the boundaries of the classic peekaboo box, and hybridized with game design as well. Another example, according to the Saxon State Opera, the music theater Chasing Waterfall is the first opera in the world in which an AI creates the composition, the libretto, and interpretation in phases autonomously and live. In one of 7 scenes, the AI is in charge alone. In the others, it will interact with actual performers as digital twins. So it is all about the co-creative interplay between humans and machines. I want to conclude again and come back to my main thesis I projected at the beginning. AI productions are becoming increasingly a non-hierarchical cooperation between humans and intelligent machines. The relationship between humans and non-humans, human producers in particular, as well as the relationship between artifact and natural imitation in general, are newly in focus. At the same time, increasingly hybrid networks force a coexistence and co-creativity of humans and intelligent machines. Their technically induced cooperation and collaboration manifests itself in an algorithm aesthetic of postmodernity, which at the same time also visibly departs from a purely anthropocentric view. At the same time, innovative and original formal languages and aesthetic modes of action emerge from the co-creativity of human and non-human actors. These biological and apionic agents act creatively in collective interplay and manifold interaction, initiating generative design processes. Their course, and I think this is important, their course and output are never entirely predictable for humans and differ gradually from the latter's mode of design, for they seemingly remain attached to the combinatorial, aleatory, and iterative in the generative design process, and could also be seen merely, to quote Hitor Steil, statistical renderings. Nevertheless, they are quite remarkable and make the audience be in awe. So to conclude with one sentence by now, there is no AI authorship, only co-creativity. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I couldn't show you the clips.